In the words of Ron Burgundy, boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast. Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Is everybody okay out there? Bitcoin dropping into the 58,000s, XRP taking a beating as well, going down in flames, abandoned ship, right? That's what some people are saying, but not so fast. In fact, all of the reputable analysts that I follow are frankly kind of excited for this. It might sound weird to people new to crypto or who don't understand market dynamics or trends or anything of the sort, but this is actually, well, not only is it historically normal for stuff like this to happen in a bull market, but you gotta flush out the weak hands anyway. It just comes with the territory. But the analysts that I follow are not changing their tune. They are firm that we see new all-time highs for Bitcoin this market cycle. The vast majority saying that means this year in the coming months. And as far as XRP, we're going to talk about XRP too. In fact, one popular analyst has stated, and we'll know soon enough whether or not he's right. He put a timeline on it, which always makes me nervous for any analyst, whether they're, whether they're talking about Bitcoin, XRP, doesn't matter. But there's an analyst that says XRP is going to start rocketing to the upside within the next 6 weeks. I'll show you exactly what he said a little bit later in the video. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun, damn it. And if you don't like it, well, you can just get out. As I record this video, it is 4:44 p.m. on Monday, June 24th, 2024. Everything's in shambles. Not actually. But XRP is down to 47 cents. 24-hour low for XRP of 46.3 cents. You got Bitcoin at 59,879 bucks. 24-hour low of $58,678. Certainly causing lots of panic, but I'm having a great day. This doesn't scare me in the least. It changes absolutely nothing. Here's the crypto fear and greed index at 51 out of 100, but it doesn't update for another 2 hours and 15 minutes. It only updates once every 24 hours. So I have a suspicion that number's going to be a little bit lower when it updates. Just, I don't know, call me crazy, but I'm guessing it's going to go down. Take a look at this, though. This is a post from the blockchain backer. And I want to share this because he's, per usual, hitting the nail on the head. And so I wanted to share this with you. He shared this chart, and he wrote the following. And this is the U.S., so Russell 2000, so it's small cap stocks. And he says, every Bitcoin expansion into new all-time highs occurs when there is expansion in the United States stock market. The 2013, 2017, and 2021 bull runs all had this in common. Expansion in stocks happens. Bitcoin expands. That doesn't exist right now. See 2020. And so you can see what he's talking about, for those of you looking at the screen anyway, where I'm circling right now. It says every single Bitcoin bull run is accompanied by expansion in equity. So that'd be the stock market. And you can see where we are right now. The Russell 2000 is not expanding. So it is true, of course, that the S&P 500 in January hit a new all-time high, and it's hit a number of new all-time highs since then, but it's just a handful of stocks that are really leading the way. You're not seeing true expansion for the rest of the market. Now, there is historic precedent for this. There have been times in the past where the Russell 2000 ultimately does expand with the rest of the market, but lags behind 10, 12 months. It has happened. So this isn't unheard of, but it has to happen, or else I'm not confident that Bitcoin and the crypto markets are going to continue expanding. But I do believe it's going to happen. I do believe it's going to expand. And I remember towards the beginning part of the year, the blockchain backer noted that Russell 2000 was at the end of Wyckoff accumulation. That's what he publicly stated. And there's also more recently Peter Brandt, who is one of the most popular analysts out there. He's been a trader literally for over 50 years. And he absolutely, and I highlighted it at the time. I don't remember exactly what he said because it's been a little while, but he's like, yeah, Russell 2000 is going to expand. That's what he sees in the charts. It's going to happen. And if that happens, and we know that the crypto market absolutely moves in tandem with equities, well, what do you think happens? So the fact that there's a pullback in a bull market, as I was stating at the outset of the video, very normal. This is not something to be afraid of here. But we do need to see this. And then he said, see 2017. So there you go. So this is the Russell 2000, and then you have Bitcoin in yellow here. And So it's just one more example. And then we have 2013. So let's pull this chart up. And you can see here, he notes this is the great financial crisis. Same story. It's the same thing. And I do not think this time is different. And then he wrote, I need to make this full screen. The Bitcoin block reward halving catalyst is a fantasy. Want expansion for Bitcoin? Watch the Russell 2000. This is a scared stock market that has consolidated into large caps for liquidity. Never happened in Bitcoin's history. See breadth open, then odds increase for Bitcoin. He is unquestionably correct in this. I 100% agree with this. Because it's just, well, how could you disagree? It's data. So if this market's going to keep going, you better see that. And so nothing's guaranteed in life, and maybe it just doesn't happen, and this time actually is different, but that's barely ever the case. If we're playing the odds here, market expands, number go up, liquidity cycles are real. He also shared this post after the price. So this is at 1:54 p.m. today, and he said, on a more positive note, if you followed YouTube, where I post 99% of my content, this is precisely what we looked for. Over the coming days, I'm longing this market. The challenge will be retraces again, and we'll watch the Russell 2000 at that time for expansion. So if you're afraid out there, just understand that the people that have been in this market for more than 5 minutes are not afraid. So it doesn't make you bad or stupid or anything like that, but just know that people who have been here for a hot minute, myself included, we understand this is par for the course. It's normal, there are corrections, and it's not the end of the world. And another reason that I can sleep easily at night is even if this were the top of the market, which I do not believe is the most probable outcome, though it's possible. I do not remotely think it's probable, though. Even if that's the case, I don't care. We'll go into a bear market, then fine. And then at some unknown point in the future, Bitcoin's going to hit a new all-time high, and so will XRP. Even if it's years from now. I don't need this money now. I'm living my life. Everything's great. And I'm way up compared to where I started because I've been in crypto for over 6.5 years at this point. But if that really was it, okay, whatever. I don't care. And if you don't have that attitude, in terms of being willing to wait that long, literally years even from now, you're going to have a hard time making it if the worst happens. And so for me, I'm totally at peace with that. And again, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that the analysts are correct in their assumption that what's most probable is we do see a continuation to the upside, and that we do see expansion in equities and crypto markets. And this is, by the way, I just pulled it up on Google, but this is the Russell 2000. So it's the 1-year chart. You can see it's just been moving sideways. It's not going to stay there, though. It won't stay there forever. Here's a post from chart analyst Credible Crypto, and I wanted to highlight this because he has been noting that recently, and I've shared on my channel, that he did not think it was probable that Bitcoin would dip below $60,000. But it has. And so sometimes what analysts view as improbable does occur, because we're not speaking in absolutes, we're not speaking in certainty when we're doing chart analysis here. And I'm not an analyst, but I'm just saying the analysts are not. And so here's what Credible Crypto had to say this afternoon. Well, there she goes. Local invalidation has officially been hit on Bitcoin and validating the impulsive structure we had built off of $60,000 last month. Was certainly not expecting this, so time to reassess. What now? The orange zone below at $58,000 to $60,000 is a last chance level to keep us from seeing much more downside. Lose this and things could get ugly. $53,000 to $54,000 next major area of demand. But hold it, and technically we still have a higher low above the $56,000 lows from last month. Important to note that even if this level is held, we now have to look to build new impulsive structure to the upside since the prior impulse was invalidated. Open interest is still high, but funding is flat/negative. We have also already had the largest amount of longs liquidated in a day since our last local bottom at $56,000. So a large number of this open interest is likely shorts, and at some point, these shorts will have to cover. So we'll see what happens here, and I'm sure I'll be providing more updates in the hours and days ahead. But it's not the end of the world, and he has also indicated in separate posts that this doesn't change anything on a higher time frame. If the question is, does this change something about Bitcoin hitting an all-time high and in his mind breaking $100,000? No, nothing has changed. It's just a question of when. There's also this post from on-chain analytics firm Santiment, and I found this fascinating, worth looking at your screen if you can, if you're not currently. They wrote, and this is showing Bitcoin data. We're observing one of the highest social volume and dominance spikes for the word bottom in the last year. Study what happened historically when similar events took place. And you can see where they're pointing with these red arrows, of course. And when you got those spikes, it looks like they actually were local bottoms dating back to January. Look at that. It's just interesting. One more piece of data to look at. I just found it fascinating, so I thought I'd share it with you. What about relative strength index? Because I found a ton of analysts talking about this, and it's fascinating. Here's Mikey Bull Crypto. He says, Bitcoin is currently on the RSI oversold level for the first time since August 2023, marking the bottom. So you can see here's the RSI at the bottom, and that's what he's noting. Oversold for the first time since August, 10 months ago. Here's chart analyst Matthew Hyland noting RSI as well. It says Bitcoin weekly RSI now at its lowest point in 8 months when Bitcoin price was $27,000 in October. Here's chart analyst Tony Severino. He says Bitcoin daily RSI as oversold as the FTX collapse and a cyclical bottom. Folks, when this happens, this is not the time to be bearish. Like it just isn't. And nothing's a guarantee, but if we're speaking in probabilities, and we are, I certainly am, what do you think is most probable? Like, what do you think happens? It goes even lower. Bottoms are found. We're in a bull market, folks. And this is fascinating, too. This comes from chart analyst Tech Dev. I found this really interesting. He's talking about RSI as well, but he says, a single RSI channel has called every macro Bitcoin top and bottom. And so look at these. This is another situation where if you're not driving or something, it is worth looking at the screen here. Look at where we're actually at. And so the RSI is at the bottom, of course. Look at this. We haven't hit the red dot. And it looks similar to here's 2017. So again, take it for what it's worth. I mean, if you look at a bunch of different metrics, they're all screaming the same type of thing. Just because there's blood in the streets today, market-wise, doesn't mean anything's changed. This isn't a problem. Here's a post from chart analyst Income Sharks. Bitcoin, just like most have got excited every time we ran to the top of this range, most are fearful now that we are at the bottom. It's still holding, and we are simply returning to the major higher time frame channel. So there you go. Another analyst says, Bitcoin, no, nothing has changed. It's just, it's still within the channel. All-time high coming eventually. That's the sentiment that I keep seeing from these analysts. And if the sky really were falling and it's time to be bearish, like I've been following most of these analysts for a long time, and they say that if that's the case. And they're more right than they are wrong. Nobody's perfect, and we're speaking in probabilities, but they're more correct than incorrect, broadly speaking. Here's a post from Charting Guy. XRP BTC zoomed in, rally pending, T minus 6 weeks or less. And so he's sticking to this. You got to admire the confidence, and I hope that he's right. We're going to find out. I mean, anytime any analyst is willing to put their neck on the line, especially with the time frame, I get a little nervous when people put the time frames out there because I haven't ever seen an analyst who can consistently accurately predict that. But he's thinking that that's what it looks like, and he's articulated his reasons why. I hope he's right, and since we're in a bull market, it's not crazy to think that he could be right. Certainly he could be. Here's a post also from Crypto Insight UK. XRP versus Bitcoin needs to get closes above this level, and we are starting to look at something. And it's talking about XRP pricing. It's Bitcoin at 0.0000786. And here's where we are right now, just a hair above that. This is a 3-month chart for XRP price against Bitcoin. It's been popping up, actually. It's been popping up today. So take it for what it's worth. But XRP will not stay at this level forever. So fine. We're all going down in flames today, but it won't stay like that. Never does. And here's this post from chart analyst E. Greg Crypto. I feel you, mate. I know you're scared, frustrated, and questioning your entire investment thesis. You might be on the verge of selling everything, giving up, and walking away. Do not panic. I assure you, we are very close. Just hold on. It's completely normal to experience such frustration and doubts. XRP Army stays steady. Fortune favors the patience. So I completely agree with that. That's true, which is why I'm having a great day despite the fact that the market's down. I just don't care. It does not matter. It changes nothing for me. I've been through way too many of these things in over 6.5 years that I've been in crypto. It doesn't matter. We're going to see new all-time highs. I'm more patient than everybody else, so why would I be afraid? Market will expand. I don't know when, and even if it's not this market cycle, then I'll wait a few years. Worst case scenario. Okay. Life goes on. It's fine. I am not worried about this. But I think we're going to see some serious, incredible fireworks this year. I think XRP is going to run, in all probability, if I had to guess, this year. I don't make price predictions, but if you're talking directionally, sure, I'll say that. Yeah, that's my conviction. And if I'm wrong, so be it. I'm just a dude on the internet, whatever. But that's what I think is most probable. We're going to have some fun times ahead. There's a reason that the blockchain backer today, he says he's longing the market. This is not a time to be fearful. Everything going to be all right. I'm not a fan. Hey, look, Bitcoin. I was going to wrap up the video. Bitcoin's above $60,000. See, everything's fine. Everything's going to be fine. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say, all right? That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.